How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Flagrant Talk Sports Podcast. It's Moses here, alongside the GOAT co-host, Isaiah Gessner.
What's up, everybody?
And today we are back with our third 3.0 edition of March Madness Bracketology. Today, if you guys haven't seen our previous videos, we break down ESPN's latest bracket that gets released by Lenardi. Just released a couple hours ago. So the newest bracket available to you all. And we're going to walk it through to the championship, give our thoughts, give our upsets, give our predictions. You know the drill. Zay, what do you got for the people?
Yeah, this is a weekly series. We're doing it up to the official bracket, which is when you're going to get all of the real deal content. We're going to break down all the regions. Next week, we start bubble videos. We'll have this video, of course, again. We're going to do upset teams in a video at some point. There is so much March Madness content. It is in a playlist if you want to go through and check out what we've already done. It's up on the channel. And then I'll give the corporate subscribe. Thank you for all of the love and support that we do on these videos, because Mo and I, speaking personally, they're my favorite to make. And so the fact that there is the most love coming to these, we appreciate it. So without further ado, Mo, let's get into it, man.
Let's do it, man. I'm excited for today. Got some changes for some one seed changes. I'm excited.
Yep. Some risers, some followers, or followers. But a team that has remained neutral is the number 1 overall seed, the Auburn Tigers. Just continue to dominate day in and day out, going up against Southern or American, which is a matchup we've had in this between the 16 seeds.
Yep.
Any hot pick here, or I guess between the 16 seeds, is there a winner?
I believe I picked Southern last time. I'm jumping ship. I'm gonna rock with American. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I've gone back and forth on this 16 seed, but at the end of the day, really don't think it matters, because unfortunately you're running into one of the best teams in college basketball ever, at least offensive.
Yep.
But yeah, man, jumping back, probably should have. I like American. They got 4 double-digit scores. Matt Rogers leading the way at 17. Southern, very good guard play. A little bit, I would say, a little undersized. They 3 guards basically. But again, not gonna matter when you're running into the Tigers. But
yeah, I'm gonna go with American as well. Southern is untouched in league play. Had a pretty tough non-con. I believe it was 14th in the country, so they are battle tested. But I'm gonna go with American, coming off a great win against Colgate, who has kind of become this perennial March Madness team. I like for American too. They shoot 35.5% as a team from long range, but obviously not gonna rock the boat. I'm picking Auburn, but wanted to give some love. I feel like we do a good job of giving love to these 16 seeds and not just neglecting them and picking over them. But I'm not picking against Auburn against the 16 seeds. It's not 100%.
Yeah.
Next is an interesting one. We have Illinois, who is on a cold streak. It has looked rough the past month and a half, really. And where they started, if you would have asked me earlier in the season, I would have said this team has Final Four upside. As things are standing now, I don't feel confident. On the opposite end is Vandy as a 9 seed, who is surging upwards, is playing some of their best basketball, doing a really good job at putting themselves in the bracket. A great win against A&M, which is a team I'm very high on. I think these two teams are trending in opposite directions, and I'm giving Vandy the win.
I Couldn't agree more. Everything you said. The tale of two stories for these two
Yeah,
teams. One on the rise, one on just not a good skid. Even though Illinois beat Iowa, but Iowa's not really that good this year.
yeah.
But they got. We'll see. They have two big matchups to close out the season against at Michigan and then at home against Purdue.
Mhm.
So maybe this time next week, if they can get a couple W's, we'll see
Yeah,
where we have them. But I totally agree. I think this Vandy team is hot, and that would be
I do
a
too.
fun SEC matchup there in the
Mhm.
round of 32. But
Yeah. It
yeah,
I'm really liking this Vandy team. They're one of those teams getting hotter as the bracket gets closer, where if they were to play a different 1 seed or a different 2 seed maybe in the round of 32, I would have to consider it.
yeah,
Spoiler, but since it's Auburn, I just can't. And that's
yeah,
the reality. But we'll get to that. Um
yep,
some 5 on 12, a popular upset, seeding pick here. We've got Clemson, a Tigers team that I'm pretty high on. I feel like you and I have had them going at least to the second weekend in all of our brackets so far,
yeah,
going up against the Buckeyes or Texas. Two teams that are on the downturn, similar to Illinois. They have put themselves on the bubble in recent play, where the Buckeyes were a 9 seed, 8 seed. We saw Texas in a similar spot, and the way
yeah.
these 2
Both of
teams are
these.
playing right now,
Hmm.
ugh, um, so I'm gonna give the win to Texas.
I
I'm
am as
gonna give the
well.
win to Texas. Okay, I
Yep.
I like the athleticism of the team, even again, they're not playing their best basketball, but I'm going with Clemson to win. They're a team I feel better about, more consistent, and playing some really good basketball since the calendar flipped to 2025. So I'm going with the
Yeah.
Tigers.
Yeah, this I agree with everything you said. Again, we've been pretty locked um in the South
Hmm.
so far in our videos, but
Yeah.
yeah, this Tigers team, man, um almost undefeated in the month of February, only one tough loss in triple
Hmm.
overtime to freaking Georgia Tech in an insane ACC matchup. But
Hmm.
yeah, a little spoiler as well. Ooh, never mind. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up. But
Okay.
shut up. I didn't look ahead to see who we had in this
Yeah,
next matchup.
man, this is a banger. We've got High
Yep.
Point, which is a team I like. We've talked about it before in previous videos. I would be willing to hear them out on an upset, even as a 13 seed. We saw it last year with Yale as a 13.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michigan coming off of that game winner against Rutgers, an amazing deep three. It's what March, is all about, the spirit of
Yep.
March building in that moment. This is a Michigan team I had going Final Four in our last video. I love Golden and Wolf as their big men. I think they do a great job of attacking you on the inside and can space the floor out by knocking down a three. Um, and while I like this High Point team, I'm still sticking with the Wolverines to win.
I agree. We kind of saw, I wouldn't say for the first time this season, but just another reminder that this Wolverines team can win a tightly contested defensive battle,
Mhm.
beating the Huskers 49-46 on Monday. Um, just an insane, kind of
Yeah.
sloppy game, but they got to win. A win's a win, proving they can win in different ways, and you got to be adaptable to do that in March. I don't think this High Point game would be a lower scoring game. I think High Point would
No.
be trying to put the points up, trying to push the pace, trying to take the Wolverines out of their pace of
Mhm.
play. But agreeing with Zay, got them moving on to face Clemson in what would be a fire matchup. Oh
Dude.
my god.
Yeah. That is an amazing game. I too with Michigan, they play so many close games, and it's a blessing and a curse, The blessing is you're tested against all of these good teams. You're able to play them close, and they've been winning them for the most
Yeah.
part. The fire that you're playing with, though, is all it takes is that one game you let a team linger and you can't pull it off in the end. And as we know, March Madness, all it takes is one game. All it takes is a
Yup.
40-minute game, and your season can be over like that. So we'll see, but I still like this Wolverines team a lot.
100%.
6 versus 11 seed, we've got Marquette versus VCU. Marquette is a team I am the panic button. The panic button is being pressed by me. I am concerned about the ceiling of this Marquette team. Um,
Yeah.
as with VCU trending into the bracket, I'm very happy to see them here. They destroyed George Mason, who is a team that is in this bubble conference competition. Um, and the way that VCU is playing right now, 22-5, I'm going with VCU to pull up the 11/6 upset.
I'm also going to take VCU for my first upset. I'm getting a little bit
Come
out
on,
there. I
baby.
feel like I've been pretty chalky in most of
Yep.
our bracketology videos. I really like this VCU team. Better, I mean, obviously different conferences, but they're a better defensive team based on the
Yep.
statistics. I like that heading into this matchup. And as you said, I personally am very worried about Marquette.
Yeah.
I love this upset pick here if this was the matchup.
Yeah. And Marquette is coming off of a 30-point win over Providence. They needed that. Really, they desperately needed a get right game against a
Yeah.
team that they should get right against in Providence.
Yep. Yep.
Um, so that's good. I'm not out to where it's like, hey, I'm not gonna pick them to have a game, but the button is there where, hey, I like VCU. They're trending up to me. I think you're catching Marquette at the wrong point in the season. I'm picking the upset. I is kind of my mentality when filling this out here.
100%. And honestly, if it was one of these other 11 seeds, I probably would have gone with Marquette. But I
Yeah.
really like the matchup here for VCU. That's
Mm-hmm.
my main driver.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
And they'll have a tough one in this next game. Number 3 seed Kentucky against James Madison, the 14 seed. This Wildcats team is very talented.
Yep.
Obviously 9 losses on the season. They've done their fair share of tough games, but in that loaded SEC, you know, you live with what happens there. Going up against James Madison, who was a darling last year. A lot of people, including myself, picked them against Duke in the first round. Um, but I'm sticking with the Wildcats to take care of business.
Agreed. I'm sticking with Kentucky here as well. Um, as you said, kind of tough in the SEC with
Hmm.
the 8-7 conference record, but this has been one of the best. We've talked about it numerous times. SECs that we've seen in our lifetimes, maybe ever.
Yep.
So can't be mad at it. And again, proving that they're kind of battle tested, even though they haven't been able to get the
Hmm.
W's like a Michigan. I think they would be able to hold their own against a James Madison.
Yeah, I do too. They're obviously took that loss to Bama, but you know that
It's
Bama is
Bama.
incredibly good.
yeah.
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 And then walked away with that close one against Oklahoma. That was a great game. But yeah, I like this Kentucky team. Uh, I think there is a ceiling due to their defense, but they're still more than capable of going on a run. As we'll see filling this bracket out. Um, next up, Mo, as the leader of your conference, we've got Mississippi State and San Diego State. Take it
Yep.
away here with what you got.
I personally think this is a pretty tough matchup for the Aztecs.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I didn't last time we did this. I just trusted my gut. I'm personally going to
Mhm.
take them. I know Mississippi State has been kind of, taking a couple losses the last few weeks here. Their
Mhm.
defense is not the best. Their offense
No.
is what pushes them to victories. And San Diego State clamps. They are a clampy
Mhm.
team. On the other end of that, their offense isn't as good, but they've had games, they've shown that they can shoot the three well, they can play well in transition, they can kind of do whatever they need to do to get the win. They're just a well-coached
Mhm.
team. I got the Aztecs in this 7-10 matchup.
I do too. I'm joining you. For me with Mississippi State, and it might not burn them against San Diego State, but their inability to guard the three is going to be their demise. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
catch up to you at some point, especially in this era of basketball. San Diego State can grind you out. That's their MO as a program. It has been for years, and it's the
Yeah.
same this year. Coming off a great win against New Mexico that I
Yeah.
am high on, and the fact
Mm-hmm.
that them and your Broncos took care of business is great. I think for both programs, San Diego State's doing a great job of keeping themselves in the tournament, not being that last four and not having to play, a game on Tuesday or Wednesday to get into the bracket for good.
Yep.
And so I'm going with the Aztecs to take care of business.
I love it, man. Yeah, they've just been, as you said, doing what they need to do to stay above that red line. So
Yes. Yep. Yep. And then the final round of 64 game, Iowa State going up against my Big Sky. It is Montana though, so not as proud, but
yep.
we live with it. Iowa State losing to Oklahoma State is inexcusable. Point
Awful.
blank. Point blank. There's end of story. I don't care that you're on the road. You can't lose that game. They desperately need to get healthy. It's been their problem this whole year. And it will be what bites them if they can't get healthy. Like they have to. If they want to go on a Final Four run, which they're capable of when they are, they need that. You can't lose that game to Oklahoma State. And I'm still giving them this win though. Montana, like I said, is a good team, and this isn't just because I'm an Eastern alumni. Uh,
yep.
they're not the strongest 15 seed. I would feel pretty confident in picking Iowa State, even with some of these injury things lingering.
100% totally agree. Scary though. I'd say this Iowa State team, they could be on slide watch with
I
couple
agree.
couple tough matchups here coming up against Arizona and BYU, thankfully, both at home, but two
Mhm.
ranked teams, at least at the moment. And then on the road at Kansas State, a team that has been kind of a team this season, at least coming in and causing some mayhem against these higher
Yeah.
ranked opponents. So definitely a little worried for the Cyclones. Need to get healthy, as you said, but I am rocking with them in this first round matchup.
Yeah. And that's your round of 64 in the South region. On to the round of 32. SEC on SEC with Auburn and Vandy. I already alluded to it, so I may as well rip the Band-Aid off. I'm not doing anything crazy here. I'm sticking with the Tigers to go to the Sweet 16. As I said in previous videos, I cannot pick them getting eliminated any earlier than Sweet 16. That's where it's like they're penciled in to win too. And then we can talk. But I think this
100
Tigers team is amazing.
100%. Um, they've been our champion, I believe, the last two times we've done this.
Yep.
If you haven't seen our
Yep.
videos, and it's for a reason. Uh, I feel like I can't remember if I've said. I'm gonna say it again. If I, 6 scores in double digit scoring is
Yep.
just how do you stop that, man? That's we'll see
Yeah.
if a team can come up with the recipe too, but
It's going to be tough to make. And Janai Broom to me is the best player in the country. So
yep,
that
100%.
also helps.
Yeah.
And this next one is much harder to pick. Clemson and Michigan, two teams that I'm very high on. Oh man, do you have an initial pick here? Is your
I
gut
do.
pulling you some way?
I do. I'm trying to pull up the stats to back me up. My gut
Mhm.
is telling me Michigan. I feel
Yeah.
like the Wolverines would offensively, even though
Mhm.
Clemson is damn good defensive team, I think offensively could maybe overwhelm them a little bit with the double big, with the size
Mhm.
that they have. But man, I don't feel good either way because I feel like both of these teams are deserving to make it out of the first weekend. And
Me too.
unfortunately, in this scenario, one of them is gonna have it cut short. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna go Michigan with the offense.
I will too, but man, this is a tough one. Like you said, two
Yeah.
teams that deserve to go to the second weekend at least. And so eliminating one here is very tough. There's always games like that in the real bracket too, where it's like, dude, I don't want to pick one of these teams to lose this early, but it's the way the cookie crumbles. I'm
Yep.
sticking with the Wolverines to go on a Sweet 16 run here. Um, Now it's a can the Cinderella continue with VCU going up against Kentucky? I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes. I'm picking VCU.
Oh,
I'm picking VCU.
really?
I'm
Okay.
doing it. I'm picking the upset.
I'm not
Now
mad.
listen, if you're a Kentucky fan, I don't take this. I don't need to specify this every video, but just because I pick against your team doesn't mean when the real bracket's out, I won't, or that I don't like your team or whatever. Right?
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Um, yeah. There's always that team that goes on a run that's playing some good basketball as a double digit, and I think VCU is the one of those teams that is more than capable of doing so. Whenever we do our Cinderella video, we're gonna talk about them. I it's more of being high on VCU than low on Kentucky, even though Kentucky has the offense and output and everything to go on a Final Four run. Like they have the
Yeah.
talent to do that, but
Yep.
I'm going with VCU to go on a little Cinderella run.
I'm not mad at it. They're hot. I like riding the hot hand. Um,
Mhm.
I know I said I've been pretty chalky. I'm gonna revert back to that after taking
Yeah.
VCU in the first round. I'm gonna take the Wildcats for I believe our first difference, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
We're
that
23
is.
minutes in. But
Mhm.
yeah, I like you said, the Final Four upside for the Wildcats. I think they're on a path to face this Tigers team, but we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a fun game regardless. I would definitely enjoy a VCU Kentucky game. Um in the final round of 32 game, I'll leave it to you again. We've got San Diego up against Iowa State. Do you have the Cinderella run continuing?
I have this weird feeling with the Aztecs because people are I don't know if it's a doubt. I don't know if they obviously we know what they can do on the defensive side of the ball. People just don't think they have
Mhm.
enough on offense. Could have
Mhm.
just been against my team who has struggled at times on the defense side of the ball, but I saw firsthand this Aztecs team have an amazing offensive performance, shooting the lights out. I can see
Mhm.
that happening in March and them pulling off another maybe not Final Four type run,
Mm-hmm.
but another Cinderella type run. Give me the Aztecs, man. We've been talking about we're scared. Obviously, at this point in time, the Cyclones should be healthy. Things should be kind of clicking again. I have the
Yep.
Aztecs breaking all that up.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I'm gonna go Iowa State. So I guess we flipped the
Yep,
chalk
yep,
pick here,
yep.
which is fun for you. Though you do have the Lamont Butler game where he gets to go against his former team in the Sweet 16, so that is definitely fun. He's a great
For sure.
player. I really like him, but has struggled with health as well. This team,
Yeah,
so
health, man. It is scary. These bottom Iowa States, Kentucky, health is the
mhm,
big deciding
that's
factor.
yeah, that's the hardest part in picking some of these teams here is just like, well, who's healthy? Um, but I guess since you've got it set up here on the bracket, we'll go through your picks first. We both have Auburn and Michigan in the Sweet 16. Are you gonna rock the boat here, or are you sticking with the number one overall seed?
As much as I would love for the Wolverines to pull this off and think they are definitely capable, you're running into a bad team, man, in Auburn. There's a reason. There's a
Yep,
number one ranked net team. There's a reason Zay and I picked them the last 2 weeks. They haven't given me any other reason to.
yep.
Give me Auburn.
I will too. It sucks. If Michigan was on the bottom region, I'm picking them over, I think, all of those teams to go Elite Eight, but
Yeah,
they're not. And so you run into Auburn in this Lenardi bracket. I'm picking Auburn. It's that simple.
you get
It's like when we were doing
steamrolled.
these last year
Yeah.
with UConn. Yeah,
Yep.
like
It's just
I
auto,
wanted to pick
auto.
another team, but yeah, and we saw what happened. So I'm sticking with the Tigers. But for you, Kentucky and San Diego State, do we have more Mountain West magic in the works here?
This, unfortunately, is where I'm going back to the chalk, and I got the Wildcats, Lamont Butler and his new team prevailing against his old team. But damn, yeah, that would be fun storyline, fun matchup. And I mean, if San Diego State was rolling like they have in
Hmm.
this scenario with wins against Mississippi and Iowa State,
Hmm.
wouldn't bat an eye if they came out and won this game as well. But gonna go with the Wildcats.
Well, I have VCU versus Iowa State, so I've got the exact opposite.
Yep.
And this is a tough one. But give me the Rams. VCU on an Elite Eight run. Let's make things interesting going up against Auburn. You got to have some Cinderella magic in the bracket. And for me, that's VCU. The win over Georgia Mason really has, to me, given me the confidence to be like, all right, I think I can pick this VCU team to go on a run. Rams
Yeah.
to the Elite Eight. First time I think I've had them go on a run in these bracket videos, and it's where we're at.
I've had them bounced, I'm sure, I think in the first, at least second matchup. So, yeah, definitely showing some love and they earned it with the
Yeah.
performance they've shown.
Yeah. So that's what I'm working with. I guess since I have it here, Auburn VCU, this is where the magic ends. I'm picking Auburn. But a hell of a season from the Rams. If this is what happens, if you end the year on an Elite Eight run, there's nothing to be upset about. That's a total win.
You you lost to the best team in the nation.
Yep.
And
Um,
considering I have the 3 seed in this scenario and I have the same result, you have to be proud of yourself in the season you
yeah.
had.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I think this
It's
is where that Wildcats D just runs into
mhm.
a flame that they can't extinguish, and Auburn
Yep.
just coast to the Final Four. Again, surprise, news flash, whatever.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, there's no argue. Anyone that would complain about that, I would love to hear an argument
Yeah.
against Auburn.
Yeah, please let us
'Cause
know.
I would love to hear it. Um, Next region, West region. The first time in doing this, we have Houston as the 1 seed. You could argue
Wow.
this is Calvin Sampson's best team potentially. He's had some good ones here with the Cougars,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's at least in the conversation. This team is playing some great basketball, and they're going up against Omaha.
Oh
With
my.
all that being, like
Mhm.
after what I just said, I mean, do I even need to say more? I'm picking Houston to take care of business.
I agree. Shout out the Omaha Mavericks of the Summit. Yeah, I guess I would probably, looking at the conference, have them making it out, giving the
Yeah,
automatic bid. Surprise, you get a nice matchup against the Houston Cougars in round one. And
yeah.
yeah, sorry, but I have Houston
Hmm.
coasting to the round of 32.
Yeah, I
What
do as
a
well.
what a matchup they got here.
I was gonna say BYU against Utah State. BYU is playing some tremendous basketball in the last month. Uh, in my winners losers video, I talked about them. I love what I'm seeing out of this Cougars team going up against
Getting
Utah
hot at the
State.
right time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to, as always, go to the Mountain West guy. Utah State. What do you got here in this 8-9 matchup?
Utah State obviously has had a great season. We're ranked for quite some time, have fallen out of the top
Hmm.
25. They it's interesting. I was super high on San Diego State in the previous region. Utah State knocked them off recently last Saturday.
Hmm.
But in their most recent matchup against my Broncos, Boise State put on a performance that none of us have seen all year. Their best game, almost
Hmm.
winning by 20 points, almost a 20-point blowout at home in a must-win game. It's kind of left
Hmm.
a bad taste in my mouth. Um, Utah State, they have depth, which is great. They played 7, 8 guys, and they all play pretty well
Hmm.
together. But their leading scorer got shut down against the Broncos the other night, and Falsev, who is a great 2 option, he is a
Yeah.
stud. Tried his best to keep them afloat. He couldn't. I think, like you said, loving what the Cougars are doing. I have BYU in this matchup, but this will be a really fun one.
I think so too. I love a Cougars on Cougars matchup in
Yep.
the round of 32 here.
Yep.
I just love the way BYU's playing. It's less on Utah State. Even with that loss, I'm still confident against most teams that I could pick them. But with the way BYU's playing right now, I'm giving them the win.
Yep. I agree.
Um, Next up, the Ducks going against Drake. This is a banger game. This is very difficult. Um,
Yeah.
Oregon coming off a great win against Wisconsin, down by
Mm-hmm.
17, and took care of business. The final 10 minutes of that game, if you don't watch anything, the final 10 minutes of that game for the Ducks showed you the upside that they have as a team to go on a deep run in
Yeah.
this tournament. As with Drake, they've been a staple of either being in the tournament or being right there at the cusp of it. Continue to be solid. Um, this is so hard. Drake is great on the glass.
Yep.
After the win over Wisconsin, I'm gonna go Oregon, but dude, I won't fault you if you go Drake.
I do really like Drake. I know they're a popular upset pick. great guard play, like you said, rebounds
Mhm.
really well, just a really solid team. But last week when we did this, Oregon was kind of in an interesting position, and I,
Yep.
out of gut feeling, rocked with the Ducks. I'm gonna rock
Mhm.
with them again after, as you said, that amazing victory on the road against the Badgers. Um, I love what the Ducks are doing, getting hot at the right time after a
Mhm.
scary beginning to February. It could have been completely different, but they've seemed to right their wrongs.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the time, man. You you
Yeah,
wanna see the progress here. But yeah, I'm going with Ducks. That win over Wisconsin to me, as a guy who's really high on Wisconsin, getting that win on the road down 17, that's talk about a resume builder. Great
yep,
win for the
yeah.
Ducks. Next up, oh man, St. John's against Liberty. If you've been around, you know how I feel about St. John's, okay?
Yep, yep.
Um, but I'll give some credit. Liberty, their first time in the bracket in our time doing this. Um, 70th in the net, 23-5 on the season, 11-4 in conference play in Conference USA. Uh, the resume, no quad one games. Haven't even played one. So nothing in that department. 2-2 in quad two, 10-3 in quad three, and undefeated in quad four. All that being said, I'm going with St. John's. Hustle their ass off, play great defense, rebound the ball well, very physical. They'll grind you out. Everything I love. They've been a top three team for me to tune into over the course of the year, and I'm going with
Yeah.
St. John's to get the win.
I will retweet that one. I got St. John's as well. But like you said, got to show some love to Liberty, getting hot
Mm-hmm.
at the right time. On a 6-game win streak at the time of this recording, and
Mm-hmm.
looking like they could be a upset threat depending on who they get.
Yeah.
But I just think the defense, the coaching, I don't think Rick is gonna allow this team to lose in the first round. So
Yeah. I'm with you there. Um, and this 6-11 matchup
ooh,
is awesome. As for St. Mary's, happy to see them moving up the bracket. I think they're deserving of a 5 seed, and this could be WCC biases as a Eggs fan, but they
yeah,
are a tremendous team.
especially after the
Analytically great.
victory
Yep.
like sealing insane, man.
Yeah, sweep of the Zags this year. Like, this is a very impressive St. Mary's team to me. So I like that they've moved up, but I still think they're deserving of a 5. But they've got to play either Oklahoma, who I said had a tough loss against Kentucky, was right there, and Indiana making their first appearance in this bracket finally. What a weird year. What a insane year. Literally telling Mike Woodson, "Hey, we're going in a different direction when the season's done." So that being out there, the fans booing, going on that long losing streak. They only have quad one losses, 11 of them. No quad 2, 3, or 4. It's
It's
a
insane.
super weird. Yeah, like I don't even know how to describe this Indiana season. It's been so all over the place. Um, but they're going up against the Sooners in Oklahoma to even play in. Do you have a pick in that game that you feel more confident in?
That game, that's a tough one. Just that I didn't realize Indiana all their losses were quad one. That's insane. Um,
Yeah.
wow. I personally, although Indiana's getting kind of right at the right time, I would go Oklahoma,
Mhm.
slight edge, but
Yeah.
I don't think it would matter. I don't. Oh, this is a tough.
I
I'm going St. Mary's. I think they're gonna win a game, but I could see Indiana winning the play-in, beating
Yeah.
St. Mary's, kind of going. I'm gonna go with the Gales though. This is probably the toughest one so far for me
Yeah.
at least.
It definitely is. I'm going with the Gales as well. I'm gonna go with Indiana. I like the way they're playing
Yeah.
recently and I didn't think I would ever say that towards even a month ago. If you'd have told me I would have said that, I would have called you crazy. But what a weird year. I guess we'll see with Indiana if they keep playing like this, they might play themselves into the tournament period. Like
Yeah.
might not need to play a first four game, but obviously we'll have to wait and see there. As for Wisconsin, I didn't even realize they have Oregon in this region. Um, and it would be great if I could like spell their name right here. I promise I
Yep.
know how to spell. Uh,
Got Chattanooga right. I'll
Wisconsin.
give you that. That's
Yeah,
credit.
yeah. Explain that one. Explain. And I'm a Packers fan, so it makes it even more weird to mess that up. But whatever.
Yep.
Three seeded Wisconsin, a Badgers team coming off the heartbreaking loss to the Ducks,
Yeah.
going up against 14 seeded Chattanooga. Any hot pick here, or you stick in with the Badgers? What are you feeling?
Gotta give my respects to Chattanooga. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe a 10-game win streak at the time of this recording.
Mhm,
Should come out of the SoCon. Uh,
mhm,
we were very high on Wisconsin last time. The loss to Oregon showed me some flaws that I didn't know they
mhm.
had. Late game closeout type stuff, obviously.
Yeah,
Um, you know,
turnovers.
turnovers. Yep. One can't have one bad game fully jump me off the ship. I'm gonna have them winning this
Mhm.
matchup, but I'm gonna be a little bit more cautious and not just
Yeah,
write them off, send them through, kind of like I did last time. But I still love the
yeah.
Badgers in this first round.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. Chattanooga very efficient offensively. I believe they're top 25 in the country in that regard. So that's that can always get you, man. If you have an efficient offense, you take good shots, you don't turn the ball over, you can compete with any team in the country. With that being said, I'm sticking with the Badgers. Again, uncharacteristic loss. Uh Definitely one that makes you perk your ears up considering that day we released this same bracket and I had them going to the title game. I think maybe we both did, but I know I did. So that
We
same
had them
day that
going far.
happening, yeah, it was alarming. Not the best timing, but I still, one game isn't going to totally deter me off. So I'm sticking with the Badgers there to advance.
100%.
Well, 7 versus 10. Two teams that have stayed as 7 and 10 seeds, Louisville out of the ACC and West Virginia. This is a tough one, man.
This is a
I
tough
like these.
matchup.
Yeah, I'm a fan of both of these teams.
I got
Louisville
my
only
pick.
lost. Oh, go for it. Go for it.
Both obviously amazing guard play from both teams.
Hmm.
I'm going to rock with the offensive output and scoring of Louisville. I think
Yeah.
that they will prevail in this matchup. But yeah, as you said, not a walk in the park either way. This could be a 55-45 split. It's going to be a tight split, I
Yeah.
feel like, if this was the actual matchup.
Yeah, I love this Louisville team. I've feel like I've said that in all of our videos. They've only lost once since December 21st. So they've been on a hot streak. Top
Damn.
30 in offensive and defensive efficiency on the seasons. They've got all the makings of a team that can go on a run. But this West Virginia team isn't small fries. I love Javon Small. He is amazing. Uh they're coming off a great win against TCU, took care of business. Um, 52% shooting as a team in the game, which is absurd. But I'm with
Yeah.
you. I'm picking Louisville to advance.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
the final round of 64 game. We've got Florida versus Central Connecticut. Fall into a 2 seed. Are you alarmed by Florida going forward? Do you think, that loss to Georgia really freaks you out, or are you sticking strong?
I personally am not freaked by the loss. It's definitely an alarming thing to happen,
Hmm.
considering how good they've been, considering this is a team that, beat Auburn, all that jazz. But
Yeah.
I have them in this first round matchup. Gotta give some love to Central Connecticut, though. They haven't lost since January 12th, just on a
Hmm.
tear in their conference at the moment. But I think Florida is going to be a-okay.
I do too. So I'm picking Florida. In Central Connecticut's regard, though, they're number one in offensive and defensive efficiency in their conference. So
Damn,
clearly a dominant team trying to make it into the tournament. But yeah, I feel fine about Florida. They really almost climbed that mountain that they got themselves in. A loss like that, I kind of throw out the window.
for sure.
It's not your night. Sometimes that
Happens.
happens.
Yep.
Round of
Especially when
32
teams are
time.
desperate.
Yes, yeah, Georgia's that bubble team, man. They're trying to get those key wins to stay in. Where Florida, it's like we're playing for a 1 seed, which is awesome. But if we lose out,
Yeah.
we're fine. Like there's
Yeah.
not this panic. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, Cougars against Cougars to start the round of 32, though, in Houston and BYU. Do you got BYU staying hot here? What are you feeling?
As hot as they've been, I think, as you said, they're running into Kelvin Sampson's potential best team that he's had. Love the leadership, love the depth. I got the Cougars in red beating the Cougars in blue.
Hmm. I do as well. I really like this BYU team, and it's going to be tough to not pick them to go on a run, just given their recent play.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm sticking with Houston here to advance. Oregon versus St. John's, banger game again. But I'm going with my Johnnies to take care of business. I haven't had the opportunity to let them go on a run yet. The way the brackets have been for them have been awful. This is tough as well, but I'm taking the Johnnies to go on a run, making the Sweet 16.
Yep, I agree. Um, as much as Oregon has shown, especially with that big win, gonna need a little bit more of that. Seen a little bit more consistency from the Johnnies. Kind
Hmm.
of know what I'm getting into and what is going to cost them. And I don't think they're gonna run into that problem until this next matchup. I'll take them
Yeah,
over the Ducks.
yeah, I like it. I like it, man. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we both have St. Mary's against Wisconsin. And as much as I hyped up St. Mary's before, I love Saxon. He's a brawler
Mm-hmm.
inside. I'm sticking with Wisconsin to
Yeah.
keep advancing in the tournament.
I got the Badgers as well. Tough, man. I feel like St. Mary's has kind of been this team as well where they probably could and should
Hmm.
deserve to go on a run, but just the the cards they've been dealt haven't been the best. So
Yeah, they're not
I'm
kind.
no hate, but I got the Badgers.
Love it. We're staying in unison. As much as I want to pick Louisville here against Florida, I'm picking the Gators. I'm staying chalk in this whole region. But after what I did in the last one, hopefully we give me a little grace.
Yep.
With
Yep.
VCU on that run, I had to tailor it back in the West. I got Florida beating Louisville, going to the Sweet 16 in a great game. against Wisconsin.
I do as well, sticking
Yeah.
with the chalk. But yeah, I just think the upside of the Gators and the strength and the depth is going to come into play here, and they will triumph over the Cardinals.
Sweet 16 time. Houston St. John's. Oh my goodness, this game would be grimy. There would be more bodies diving on the floor than a basketball game has ever had before.
Yep.
Physical. Oh man, this would be a hell of a game. Probably my favorite game of the tournament if this were to happen.
Be so fire.
And I'm doing it. I'm giving St. John's the Elite 8 run. I'm having them beat Houston. It's been very tough. And I feel like in a game like this, it's going to be a one-score game. Last team with the ball wins. As long as it's not a 3, I'm giving it to St. John's.
So, dude, it's funny you say that because I have Houston for the exact reason of St. John's not being able to hit the 3 free throws.
Yep.
But it's basketball. Anything can happen. I'm not mad at it. I love the pick. I'm gonna stick with the Cougars, but I like it, man. This would be maybe game of the tournament.
This
at least if you love defense.
Yes.
If you love hoops, if you love defense, if you're not just a casual, sorry, I'm sure casuals, but like people are coming for offense. If you love hoops, this game.
Yeah. This is a grind you out. They might not combine for 100 points. Might not combine for it would be awesome. I would love that game. But Wisconsin and Florida here. I'll let you take it away. This is tough.
Dude, it's so crazy what 1 week does to a man.
Yeah.
And it's not because I've had Florida going deep, but it's just the Wisconsin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we both at least Final Four, if not the championship last time out. I'm going to stick with the Gators.
Yeah.
Like you said, that the Georgia loss, it's not too scary to me. That's one you can kind of write off. The Wisconsin one, man, that one's pretty inexcusable. I know that's another desperate team in Oregon, just trying to stay afloat and not keep trending out of the bracket. But I'm gonna stick with the Gators and the battle-tested conference type beat that they've been on.
I'm joining you as well. This another incredible game with Wisconsin and Florida, but I'm going with the Gators. When at their peak, when fully healthy, they're a championship contender. I really think that their ceiling is winning a title. That is one of the few teams I can say that for, where if they're clicking on all cylinders for 6 straight games, they win it.
Yeah,
that's the type of team that they are. I love Wisconsin. Still totally open to them going on a Final Four run. But I'm giving it to the Gators this time around.
Yep.
And that leads us with, I guess since I have it on here, I can go first.
Yep.
St. John's in Florida. Another incredible game to square off against Auburn. Give me Rick Pitino and St. John's going on a Final Four run.
I'm loving it, man. As high as we've both been on St. John's all year. And funny enough, I'm choosing the same pathway, just with the chalk. Yeah. I have Houston knocking off Florida, leading us to have a 1 seed battle in the Final Four on this side of the bracket. As boring as it is, it would be a damn good, exciting basketball game. So that's what I got in the West.
I'm with you.
Yep.
I'm with you. Yeah, I love it. I love that we've both got some different picks here, but either way, those either one of those final four matchups would be amazing. So,
Yeah.
no
Yep.
complaints there.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the right side of the bracket now. Duke as the 1 seed. They've been dominant in the ACC. Cooper Flag, a legitimate contender for Player of the Year. Uh, Going up against Southeast Missouri State or Maurice, not to get confused with the guy from Madagascar. Terrible joke. That was awful. But Mo, go ahead. What are your picks, man?
um First, I'm gonna go with SEMO. I'm gonna go with Southeastern Missouri in that matchup, but it's not gonna matter because I have the Blue Devils beating either of these teams to a pulp. Um, okay, I'm sorry. Um,
I I do too. I do too. I I just need to move on from this game, so I'm gonna pick Duke and let's get
let's
to
jump to this. Dude, this is an exciting
all
matchup
right,
here.
man. Hey,
I'll
this
take it
is
away.
another one. I'm deferring to the specialist, man. Give it to us.
I, oh, man, dude, this is a really tough one. I feel like people are gonna think I'm a Mountain West hater. I'm not. I know the Mountain West is good. It's just this juju in March. I don't know what it is, why we struggle, why we get the matchups that we do. Cause UConn was, the title favorite at the beginning, probably like
Yeah.
considered a three-peat. I don't. I see them winning this matchup as hard as it is for me to say, but I'm just New Mexico as good as they've been. They've shown some weaknesses the last couple weeks that I'm not a fan of, and I got even though the Huskies have done the same damn thing, I'm
Yeah.
I'm rocking with them.
I'm going with UConn too. I feel like I at least need one win for Hurley.
I don't
Um,
think
I
you
mean,
don't go quietly.
no, like he's at least got to get one. I love the win over Georgetown. Again, sometimes you need a get right game. You need a game where you squash a team and you build some confidence and you go, okay, we're still those guys, man. That loss is the losses we've taken are bad. In particular, that Seton Hall one, I am not over. That is inexcusable, but you needed to get right game in conference play. We'll see what the Huskies do down the stretch. I'm open to it, but I think in terms of title hopes, you can go ahead and bury those. Those are no more.
I agree. Unfortunately,
Um, Onto a 5-12 matchup, and this is a great one. Speaking of a get right game, Missouri put up 101 points in a 30-point victory over South Carolina. They have that offensive ceiling that not many teams in the country can match. They
it's
pour it
insane.
on you. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
and Mark Mitchell is amazing. One of my favorite players in the country. He could clamp up. He could put the ball in the hoop. He's kind of everything that you
Yep.
want in a player. So
Yep.
I love this Missouri team. We've both spoken highly of them. Uh, as for Yale, um, 11-0 in conference play. Just
Yeah.
continue to take care of the Ivy League. Obviously, the win over Auburn last year, but I'm going with Missouri. I'm just loving this Tigers team.
I totally agree. It sucks because Yale, I feel like, is going to be a popular upset. But this Tigers team, man, as you said, that offensive upside, what they can do to your
Mhm.
defense, just it's mayhem, but it's controlled and they know what they're doing. They just hoop, they just outrun you. I got
Yep.
the
Yep.
Tigers as well. But watch out for those Ivy League smart guys in Yale.
Yeah, those future hedge fund workers. But
Yeah,
hey, they can hoop, man. I'm
they're
no hate.
hoopers.
They are
Mhm.
hoopers. Someone who is a team that's given me some concern. I'm not ready to slam the red button, but I'm definitely hovering over it. Purdue and the Boilermakers 0-2 last week, and a terrible loss to Indiana, a really bad one, where the game wasn't particularly close either. Going up against Lipscomb, who's been cruising through conference play pretty
Yeah.
easily, taking care of business. I would be pretty surprised. I think their conference is the first one that will give us our first team in the bracket. So, little preview there. Um, as low as I am on Purdue, I can't pick against Braden Smith to at least carry the team a game. But I'm concerned, man.
I agree. Although Lipscomb has a 20-point score in their, I'm gonna butcher this, Ognisevich Hooper forward. Um, I was kind of bullish on Purdue last go around. I'm gonna have them winning this matchup, but talk to me in a couple minutes about what
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
thinking.
Me too. Me too. We'll
Yeah,
put a pin in this one because we're
yep,
we're gonna go in the same direction here.
yep.
Um,
This
another
one
great one.
sucks. Yeah,
This It's UC San Diego. We have hyped them up nonstop, and we haven't given them a single win yet because every first game for them is super tough, and
brutal,
this is no
dude. This
different.
is brutal. Yeah,
Like, we both love this UCLA team. Like, we've had them go to the second weekend. I, they could with their defense again, stifling. It is so impressive,
so
and I
good.
love that on Bill Walton Day, one of my favorite people that I never got to meet. I I could do a whole video about my love for Bill Walton, but laying it down to Ohio State filled my heart with joy. And it not even a knock on Ohio State, but seeing that happen was like a okay, that was deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Stifling defense against UC San Diego and their stifling defense.
Yeah.
It's those two calling cards. UC San Diego, they turn you over and over and over and over, and they don't turn the basketball over on their end. So
Mm-hmm.
pick your poison, man. I'll defer to you here, but oh man,
The reason I say obvious, yeah. Let me clarify. Great game. The reason I say this sucks is because I am unfortunately picking against UC San Diego again.
I am
As much
too.
as I as much as I want to get them at one win,
I know.
get them to the round of 32, I can't do it against this UCLA roster. Who has, while they were streaking, has run into a little bit of a up and down
Yeah.
the last few weeks, but it's expected in a good conference. And I'd rather them get out those little hiccups now. They haven't been anything too eye opening. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean with the Bruins, but damn, sucks,
But
man.
damn.
Yeah.
I am too. It's again, I'm hoping when we get the bracket this doesn't happen to us. I want to pick UC San Diego to win a game at least, but damn I love UCLA. Like
Yeah.
I would love this matchup though. Again, from a defensive standpoint, you are seeing clamps all game long. So, I'm joining you, but this is a tough one. Um
Yep.
One that's a little easier, no hate to Townsend, but Texas Tech is a 3 seed versus 14 seed Townsend. Texas Tech lost to Houston, but without the services of McMillan and Williams, put up a good fight. But, you know, between the losses of them and the talent of Houston, it's, it's just going to happen. Like, it's one of those outcomes that's, you can't prevent. Um, I'm gonna go with Texas Tech to advance. Any hot pick here? Are you a Townsend supporter?
Although they are crushing the Coastal Athletic Association,
Yeah.
I have Texas Tech.
Yeah.
The Red Raiders cooking in this first round matchup. Yeah, I'm sorry, Townsend. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens, man. It
Mm-hmm.
happens. Now to the number 7 Tigers. Again, boomer bust. I say it every video. Boomer bust team in this bracket. They're either losing this game or they're making it to the second weekend. There's really no in between to me. Going up against Arkansas, Calipari has his Razorbacks in the bracket comfortably now, according to Lenardi, turning it around on the season. A great win against the Longhorns for Arkansas.
Yep.
Give me the Razorbacks to
I got them as well.
win.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Memphis, they got to get out of their bracket or region or conference. Holy basketball words filtering in my head. But they got to get out of there. But anyways, go ahead.
Just the boom or bust ability of Memphis, as you said, they're either losing this game or rolling to Sweet 16, Elite 8. The American isn't doing them any favors and getting them prepared. I just think Arkansas is more battle tested and, as you said, kind of clicking at the right time.
Yeah.
Give me Coach Calipari to make it through the first round.
Mm-hmm. And I said it. I had them as a winner last week. Said they needed to go 3-1 in their final 4 to where I'd feel pretty confident that they're going to make it. 2-2 would leave them like, you're fine. You're still alive, but you need to win some SEC conference games. They won their first one against Texas. We'll see what they can do in these final couple games. As for Memphis, there's no denying the talent. This has nothing to do with a talent. I like Penny. Obviously loved him as a player. Love him as a coach as well. But when you take losses to Wichita State, Arkansas State, and Temple, you can lose to anyone. So I'm gonna give the win here to the Razorbacks and have them advance.
Not upset.
Which leaves us with the final round of 64 game here in the East, and yet another SEC team, Tennessee, going up against Norfolk State. Are you gonna have another SEC on SEC matchup, or are you going with a big upset?
I do like Norfolk State.
I do too.
And I'm gonna fortunately give the edge to the Vols. Have another SEC matchup loading in the round of 32.
I do too. Norfolk State, great defense. That's definitely their calling card as well. So this would be a good game in that regard, but I think Tennessee has the offensive ability to just break away. Like, sometimes it's a talent thing, and I think that's the case with Tennessee. Dominated LSU, particularly on the glass, 44-28. And their defense was amazing. No surprise there. That's their biggest strength. So kind of the most quiet 2 seed or top seed in the tournament, but Tennessee is still a team that deserves the respect of people when they're filling out their bracket.
100%.
Round of 32, Duke against UConn. Some blue blood action in the round of 32. Are you picking the Blue Devils here? You feeling bold about Hurley? What's the vibe?
I just think Duke has shown time and time again that they are legit, even though they're pretty young. They have, a couple seniors in there to show them the way I got the Blue Devils knocking off UConn, who's just been too shaky for me
Yep.
to push further, as unfortunate as that is.
I do too. Consistency is the biggest thing. Just
Yep.
feel more confident in Duke than I do UConn. It's really that. Like I trust what I've seen more out of the Blue Devils.
Without a doubt, and going piggybacking off of that consistency and liking what I'm
Yep.
seeing and not liking what I'm seeing, give me the Tigers to knock off the Boilermakers. Although Braden Smith could be the guy to get his team out of this slump and bring them into this Duke matchup, I just think the Tigers are gonna knock them off before they can get a chance to do some damage.
I agree. I feel great about this Missouri team. Could they go Final Four? I don't know, but they certainly have what it takes to make the second weekend, maybe the Elite Eight. Very talented team. And what I'm seeing out of Purdue doesn't make me feel confident in picking against a team that I do feel good about in Missouri. So
Yeah,
I'm joining you there. UCLA and Texas Tech. I believe we had this in the last video, and I went Texas Tech,
that's funny.
and I'm going Texas Tech again. Oh snap! Oh snap!
Give me the Bruins to knock off the
Not
Red
mad.
Raiders. More of I don't. I feel like this is so disrespectful. I've had Texas Tech going pretty deep in every one of my
Mhm.
brackets, and they haven't really shown me anything. The loss to Houston is, that's completely fine.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm just trusting UCLA and the runability and the history. I got the Bruins, man.
I love it. I'm not gonna give you any pushback. This is really a tough one. I had Texas Tech last week. I'm going with them again, and I'm pretty sure you had UCLA. So
Yeah, I'm
that's
rocking with
fine.
it. I'll rock with it. Yep.
That's fine. But we've got an SEC on SEC game in Arkansas and Tennessee. The Razorbacks are playing some great basketball, but I'm picking Tennessee. They've just been more consistent to me throughout the entire year.
I agree. As much as I would love to continue the Cinderella run for Arkansas, I just think the Bulls are gonna show their strength in this one and
Mm-hmm.
keep the SEC how it's looking this season.
Yep.
Translate it to the
Yep.
playoffs. Yeah.
I agree. And that
Mm-hmm.
leaves us with the Sweet 16, Duke versus Missouri. Mo, I'm tempted. I'm very tempted.
I know, man. I am too. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Let's do it.
I've had Duke going in
I had
no
him Final Four last
disrespect.
time.
Yep, no disrespect. I'm pretty sure I've had them on a deep run almost every single time
Yep.
we've done this. But the Tigers have just been that wrecker all season long, coming from unranked wonder to being in the top 10. Like, give me Missouri, man.
I agree. Dude, what's crazy? The Missouri didn't win a conference game last year. Like
Not
to have,
one.
I think they went 0-18. So to have this
My
turnaround,
goodness. Yeah.
yeah, like to go from that to this, where we're even in a spot to debate them beating Duke, is incredible. F it, I'm going with Missouri as a 5 seed to go on
Yep.
a deep run here. Since you've got it on the bracket already, UCLA and Tennessee. Do you have another SEC game in the Elite Eight?
I do. As much as I would love for the Bruins to knock off the Vols, I'm gonna give them their respect and give them the nod, kind of
Mm-hmm.
showcasing the strength of the SEC in full form in
Yeah.
this Elite Eight matchup that I have. But yeah,
I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I've got Tennessee versus Texas Tech in my game, and I'm going with the Red Raiders to go on an Elite Eight run. Another team that I feel good about. This would be an incredible game as well, and I like that this region is kind of panning out a little more hectic for the both of us. Um,
yep.
and since I've got it already, Missouri versus Texas Tech to go to the Final Four. I'm going with the Red Raiders to go on a Final Four run as a 3 seed, joining 1 seed Auburn and 4 seed St. John's for me in my Final Four.
I am not mad at it. I'm going to propel the Tigers into the Final freaking Four, knocking
I
off
love
the
it.
Vols. The energy, the turnaround. Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
all in on the Tigers until otherwise stated.
Love it. Love
Mm-hmm.
it. I feel like we're clearly both in the same spot with Missouri, where if I were to fill out the real bracket today, they can definitely go on an Elite Eight Final Four run. I think that's in
Mm-hmm.
the cards for them as a team.
Without a
But we
doubt.
are on to the final region, the Midwest, with Bama going against Bryant. My goodness, this Alabama team is so fun. Oates is going to win a title with this team at some point. I don't know if it's this
Has
year
to.
with but he has to. He's so good. This is an NBA program in college. The way they run it, the way they play, the people they recruit, it feels like a G League team in a lot of
Yep.
ways. With Bama, dominant game against Mississippi State, ran them out of the building, hit 23 pointers. When you can hit the three ball like that, you could beat any team in the country any night. That is their upside. They can win a title this year. Um, Bryant, as I've said, spacing and speed. That's my note on them. They they play fast and they want to hit the three ball against you. All that being said, I'm picking Alabama.
Yeah, since you're running into this offensive juggernaut, unfortunately, that's not going to work. I have the Crimson Tide as well.
Yeah. Next game, I guess I'm wearing my Zags thing. I've been covering the logo uh, due to pain that this team has brought me. But 8 seed Creighton versus 9 seed Gonzaga. Creighton destroying DePaul, which is always a good feeling when you're a team and you get DePaul. No, it is hate. I was gonna say no hate, but that's the
No
most
hate,
hate
but
I can give it. Like I literally disrespected their entire program,
but
so
it's
I
but
can't
it's
really say.
true.
But it's
It's
true. I mean,
true
these
though.
past couple years, you see DePaul and you're like, all right, I'm gonna get a little 30, 40 point win, and that is exactly what they did. Kalkbrenner, happy to see he's healthy and fine. Was definitely worried when he went down initially, even though he came back of like, please don't miss time. Like you need to be on the court if Creighton's going to do anything. Ashworth is great as well as a veteran presence. Um, and with the Zags swept by St. Mary's, you get a win over Santa Clara. That's good. I believe that goes down as a quad one win because they were on the road. But I'm just so unimpressed by this Gonzaga team, and I'm giving the victory to the Creighton Blue Jays.
Yeah, it could just be blatant hating because we're fans and like they're just not holding the standard that we've grown up with. But
No.
I agree. I just something's off. I do like this Blue Jays team. The Kalkbrenner injury is a
Mhm.
little bit concerning, but if they're healthy, if they're clicking in these next few weeks, and this ends up being the matchup, give me the
Yeah.
Blue Jays.
Yeah. And again, it's not even that I feel great about Creighton. I just think they have the talent. However, this is fun for Ryan Nemhard. I didn't even make it. I forgot
Oh
to note
yeah.
that, but Nemhard
Mm-hmm.
going against his former team, Nemhard setting the season. He has been. Listen, I will say whatever about the Zags team. It doesn't apply to Ryan Nemhard, and it doesn't apply to Nolan Hickman.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else can take some blame. Those two have been great at the guard slot. So let me give them an out because Nemhard is literally having a historic season at the point guard position for Gonzaga. So
100%.
let me throw a little love, even though I eliminated my team in the first round. 5 seed Maryland, heartbreaking loss to Michigan State. The past full court, like 75% of the court,
Mm-hmm.
down, heave, loss, devastating on your home court. Had the game, but it happens. Going up against 12 seed McNeese. As I've said, I like this McNeese team, but I don't think they are as good as last year. Where with Maryland, I feel more confident. Give me the Terrapins to get the win.
Agreed with everything you put me on to Maryland in our last bracketology. Kind of played a little bit closer attention to them. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they are a freaking over half court shot away from knocking off another high ranked
Yeah.
team, March
Mm-hmm.
Madness team, team that's in their region, which would be
I know,
fun if they
man.
could. We'll see. But I got the Terrapins in this one.
Yeah. Yeah. And their depth. That is the scariest thing. I will make that note of Maryland every time we talk about them. Their starting five, arguably the best in the country. It is at least in that upper echelon. But when one of them gets in foul trouble, if one of them gets hurt, if they got to rely on the 7th, 8th guy in their rotation, done.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
that is their Achilles heel. We know what it is. And in the game against Michigan State, got out rebounded. The threes weren't hitting. They were so close, but that's what March is all about, man. It's that one shot, it's that one miss, it's that one make that could end your season or advance it. And we'll see for Maryland what they can do
100%.
when it comes around.
Yep.
Arizona, Tommy Lloyd and those boys going up against Akron, the smallest team in the country. They shoot a lot of threes. They run a lot of guards, like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is a tough one, Mo. Who are you picking here?
Tough matchup. I'm gonna lean Arizona.
Yeah.
But spoiler, I don't think it's gonna matter who comes out of this one.
Yeah. Caleb Love was hooping in that loss to BYU, dropped 29 points. The 14 turnovers was what really sealed their fate. That's you can't do that, especially against a BYU team that is playing hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is tough. I'm gonna go with Arizona, but I'm so tempted to pick Akron. Credit to the Wildcats, though. They've been great.
I wouldn't be mad at this upset.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Speaking of a team that's playing some really good basketball, the Kansas Blue Jays. They dominated Oklahoma State. So that's good. Maybe back on track. Maybe. I say that with
Speaking
no
of upset,
confidence.
give me the Huskers to knock off the Jayhawks. Get them out of here. Pack them up.
Yeah.
I just it's been the thing the last. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Yeah, obviously you beat Oklahoma State, cool, but
You
I'm good,
needed.
man.
I
This
mean,
is this is one I'm willing to take the risk on of being wrong. Um,
yeah, yeah. I I mean, it's not that I even feel great against Nebraska. I'll give it to Kansas, but
yeah.
spoiler, this is their only win. So
Yep.
we can we can move on from them. A&M, a team that I do like and I
Yeah.
enjoy seeing play basketball. Um,
Hmm.
their defense has dropped off a little bit as of late. It's not as crisp as it was when I felt really really good about the team, but still 28 on the season has been great in conference play overall. I, like going up against 14 seed Utah Valley. Um, I'm going with Texas A&M. I love the way they rebound the basketball, and when they're clicking on defense at that level, they can beat anyone.
Agreed. Props to Utah Valley for knocking off GCU in
Yeah,
this, I guess, simulation. But I have the Aggies, unfortunately, winning regardless.
yeah. And Utah Valley, hey, it's been a great year. This is normally Grand Canyon spot. Going into this year, we all thought it was going to be Grand Canyon spot. Not the
Yeah.
case. It's been a great year for them, but I just think you get matched up against a really good A&M team here. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss going against a Baylor team that's trending down to me a little bit.
Both
Um,
teams, I'd say, heading in the wrong
yeah,
direction. Yeah.
great point. That
Yeah.
lost to Auburn belt.
Like, yeah, obviously it's Auburn, like, not expecting them to win, not expecting you to
No,
get blown by 30.
that that's the thing. If you lose the game by like 10, you go, all right, that's fine. I I expect Auburn to beat you because they're that good. But
Yeah.
like you said, bro, like you didn't even put up a fight. You got slaughtered in that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Baylor's resume is dicey. The Cincy loss is not good. Um,
Yeah. Two tough losses on the road back to back.
like they probably need to win 2 of 3 and a game in the Big 12 tourney for me to feel like, all right, they're in the bracket.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't feel great about either of these teams. I'm gonna go Ole Miss, but man,
Same here. Not 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 at the moment either team I see being one capable of upsetting Michigan
no,
State and A&M. Yeah.
no, no, I definitely don't think so. Which leaves us with the final round of 64 matchup on the bracket. Michigan State, who is coming off that game winning 3-pointer against Maryland, going up against Robert Morris. Quick tidbit on Robert Morris, 150th in the net. They've only played one quad one game and they got smacked around. West Virginia 87 to 59. Um, 15 and 5 in conference, 23 and 8 on the season as a whole. But I think Izzo's got his guys playing their best basketball at the right time. Give me the Sparties.
100% Spartans cooking, getting those wins, albeit even though they're close, a win's a win. And you know
Mm-hmm.
what Izzo does in March. Give me the Spartans as well.
Yeah, they're playing really since that Indiana loss really concerned me, and ever since that they've been like, no, that was a fluke. We don't
Yep.
know what happened. We woke up on
Hmm.
the wrong side of the bed. Like we're
Yeah.
we're fine. Don't
Yep.
panic.
Hmm.
Round of 32, Bama and Creighton. I said it already in breaking down Creighton and Gonzaga. I can't pick against the Tide. I like this Creighton team. They've been somewhat shaky in the last month, though, and I feel great about Bama.
Same. I've felt higher on Creighton in past years, especially when they were a 3-4 seeded team.
Mhm.
Um, I am picking the Tide as well. Just can't slow them down. You can only hope to
No.
keep pace.
Yeah, you hope they stop themselves is
Yep.
really the the biggest, thing with them. Um, Maryland going up against Arizona. Great game, but we literally said it before. Give us the Terrapins to
Yeah,
advance.
man. Yeah, man. Not really a big fan of Arizona, at least at the
Mhm.
moment. We'll see how they look in the rest of the season in the conference tourney, but I
Yeah,
loving where the Terrapins are at.
yeah. Um, I guess I'll ask you since you had Nebraska here, do you have the Huskers going on a run when you picked them, or is this a one and done type scenario?
I have the Aggies winning. Wade
Yeah.
Taylor, the guard play, yeah,
Mhm.
just a little one and done mini upset for the Huskers, but
Yeah. It's more of an anti-Kansas pick for you, I feel like, than a
basically, basically,
than a stamp of approval for Nebraska.
yeah, yeah.
Which listen, I'm not gonna be the one to tell you you're wrong for that. I'm so out on Kansas as a team.
Yep.
Um, the final game
You
of the
have
round of
them as well.
32. Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
There was no world in hell I'm picking Kansas to beat A&M.
Okay.
They're really the one team I can, like, unleash on, where it's like, "You are despicable, bro." Like, you're
It's
this team
earned.
is it is. And if you're a Jayhawks fan, I'm not normally like this with your team.
I normally
This isn't
like the Jayhawks. That's a
I
team I normally like in March.
Yes. Yes. Like, if you think I'm a Kansas hater, I have 0 reason to hate Kansas. And honestly, we can look back to last year's bracket where my Zags kicked your ass. See, like, what am I doing? Like,
Like
I'm trying to
that one was
compliment him, and then
uncalled
I'm
for. That one was
yeah. Well, let's move on, bro. I'm sorry, Jayhawks fans. If you don't want to subscribe or listen to us talk about your team, I
I
would just
understand.
recommend skipping over Kansas. I
It's
understand.
yeah, yeah. Listen to the rest.
Hope
Just don't listen to this
yes,
region. The
s-
rest of the stuff
skip.
is
Yep,
valid.
yep,
Yeah.
is valid. Yeah, you're the only team we get like this with, so we apologize. But round of 32, Ole Miss, Michigan State. Sparty's playing consistent, better basketball. Give me the Sparties.
Agreed. It's crazy. Ole Miss, yeah, they just slid out of the top 25. Out of
Mhm.
just not really liking it, man.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like this is the easiest region because there's so many
Yeah,
like big risers and fallers in this area. Like
100%.
there's teams I just feel more confident in and comfortably. So,
Yep. Yep.
um this one is tough though. These Sweet 16 games are tough. Bama versus Maryland, A&M and Michigan State. Are you sticking with the 1 seed? You got an upset here? What are you feeling?
I know. I feel kind of gross doing it again, but I like yeah, please. I love what you said. Please explain to me what you see otherwise. I have the Crimson Tide
I
um
do too.
as good as Maryland starting five is. I think the little bit of depth, the offensive pace, all of it, it's gonna work out in the Tide's favor.
Yeah.
Kind of destined to right their wrongs.
Yeah, I do love this Alabama team. Mark Sears, I got to see him in person for a couple games last year. As good as advertised. He's a tremendous guard. I know the Brunson comparison is a popular one, a smaller guard who puts the ball in the basket. I could definitely see it, especially like Nova Brunson, but
Yeah,
yeah, I love this Bama team. Grant Nelson too. Hey, They said white men can't jump. That
Hooper.
brother can jump. He
Yep.
is bouncy. It's
Hmm.
stupid, some of his dunks, but
Tall, athletic. Yeah.
yeah, he's wide. Yeah, he's a great player. So I'm
Hmm.
going with the Tide here. A&M versus Michigan State. I could take this one away. Give me the Sparties.
I got him
Continuing.
too, man.
They're playing great basketball, and picking against Izzo in March is so difficult. The past couple years, they've been like an 8 or 9 seed, where like I can have them win a game. Maybe if I'm feeling cute, I'll have them win 2. This time around, man, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yep. I agree. I think it's kind of similar to the Alabama the last few seasons, just a righting of the wrongs, kind of coming out with
Yeah.
this. We're a basketball program. We're gonna prove it to
Mhm.
everyone.
Yep. And that is a tremendous Elite 8 game with Bama versus Michigan State. For me in my Final Four, I've got Auburn, I've got St. John's, I've got Texas Tech, and I have Michigan State going to the Final Four, beating Alabama as tough as this is, because I love both these teams.
I guess they could just call me the chalk man because I unfortunately have Alabama. I love the pick. Haven't seen
Yeah.
them in the final four, I think, in our any of our bracketologies.
No.
So I love that Michigan
Nope.
State pick there. But I'm gonna stick with the Tide, roll Tide.
Yeah.
Um, but man, what a treat all of these games would be, man.
Seriously. And you have, holy crap, your Final Four. Notice anything?
I promise
Anything?
that
I
wasn't
know.
intentional.
I know it wasn't. I know it wasn't, but I realized as I'm looking at it, like, wait a minute. Uh,
Uh,
there's kind of a
so
conference here that's surrounding all 4 of them, but hey, it's been the year for all these teams, so
for sure. I guess I'll take it away since it's here. Starting on the
yeah,
left in a rematch. It's hard to beat the same team twice. I'm gonna go with Auburn knocking
yeah,
off Florida.
yeah,
Unfortunately, in what would be it? Oh my gosh, just the SEC fans are going stupid.
yeah.
And in another fun rematch, I'm switching my philosophy. Give me Missouri. Give me Missouri.
Wow!
Give me
Oh,
Missouri in
man.
the championship,
Wow,
bro.
bro.
Give me the
Alright.
Tigers all
Alright.
the way. All the way.
Okay. Okay.
Tiger on
Um,
Tiger matchup.
yeah. I I'm not mad, man. F it. Let it fly. Let it
I'm
fly.
letting it
Missouri
fly.
does. I
Yep.
mean,
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. Uh, as for me, I've got Auburn versus St. John's, and then I have, holy cannoli, Texas Tech. Texas Tech going up against Michigan State. Quite the different Final Four for the two of us. I have a 1, 2, 3, and 4 seed. I didn't. That's another one where like there's
Yep.
no purpose there. As much as I love St. John's, giving them this run, having them beat Florida, beat all of these teams, Michigan, the run ends. I'm giving Auburn the victory. As for Texas Tech, Michigan State, give me the Sparties to
I
go to
love
the
it.
title game against Auburn. I'll rip the band aid off here. I'm
3
sticking
for
with the
3.
same team I've picked. 3 for
3 for
3.
3, man.
Auburn.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. Call us boring, call us lame, but we'll
Yeah.
see you in March.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard to pick against this team, period, when we're
Yep.
filling the bracket out. So
Please, yeah, like Zay said, please let us know your thoughts and why we're wrong.
mm,
But
I'd love to hear how someone could
yeah,
be wrong about Auburn. That would definitely be something. But
yep.
that is the bracket. Let us know what you think. What teams are you high on? What teams are you low on? Do you agree with our Auburn pick? Are we overhating Kansas? Are we underrating a different team? Let us know. We would love to hear your opinions. And before we sign off, Mo, song of the pod.
Song of the pod for the people for the weekend heading into March. I got Calico from Mexico by Summers. That
Nice.
beat, that beat is it's addicting to me. I don't know what it's just loud, it's in your face. I like it. I really like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it there. I'm going with Tears by Wu-Tang Clan. Maybe the greatest hip hop song of all time. It's definitely up there. I love
Mm.
the sample. I love the verses. One of the all-timers. I don't know if it's a song to get you excited for the weekend necessarily, considering what they're talking about, but a hell of a song
We got two
nonetheless. But
different
that's the video
vibes.
for you.
Yep.
Absolutely. Thank you all for tuning in. We can't wait to see you in the next video.
Love it.
Peace, everybody.
Appreciate y'all. Peace out.